you want to be right or do you want to make money? You guys in construction, this probably works in any business, but I'm going to tell you all the different problems that you already have or you've had to dealt with all along. So let's just say, and I'm going to use round numbers. Let's say, okay, you got $1 million construction contract. You're working for an owner, or you're working for a general, or maybe you're even general in the whole thing. You have to turn in your pay estimates at some time. And of course, the age-old deal is you get monthly pay estimates. There's going to be a cutoff date somewhere in there that they're going to tell you have to use. You're going to turn in a bill. Let's say this month, your $1 million contract, you bill them $300,000, sell them your 30% done with the job. All right. How many times do they spend a few days and then they get back to you and they say, well, you know what, we're only going to give you 17%. You know, that's we owe you about $160,000, and of course you're sitting there. Now starts the battle. Okay, well, that's a really simple problem to fix. that's one of the things you're going to hit the button about to get hold of Cowboy Steve about. I'll show you how to fix that where that's not happening. Another one is how do you protect the owner? How do you protect yourself? How do you protect the municipality or one of these things to where they trust you? I'll show you that too. There's a lot of really simple ways to do it, and I learned them all the hard way, but I learned it the first trip through. You guys know what I'm talking about, that project managers, general supers, stuff like that. You got your list, you got your schedule of values, you get your cost to complete, you get your billings in excess of earnings. All this all comes into play. And then there's problems that come down the road. Well, we got claims, you're going to turn in claims for extra work. You got to have somebody sitting there all day writing change order requests or answering RFIs. None of that stuff works. But I think I can help you on every one of those deals. You just hit that button and I'll show you how to do it. I know how to do it. I did it a lot. In construction claims, that's a racket all by itself. You got these guys that are claims experts. God, I've worked with them all. Some magic formula they've got, and like they always say, they take you into arbitration, they cut the baby in half, and that's how it works. But the problem is with them is when you do them so bad that they're inflated so much, really all you're doing is you're taking your own credibility away. Those numbers are hard to, they just don't work. Okay, so you need a claims guy. You need an attorney team. You probably have to bring your accountant in. You got to tie up one of your guys, one or two of your main guys in your business. I think I can show you how to bypass a lot of that stuff. Well, I know I can. Construction claims. If you're working in the state of Oregon, Washington's a little different, a little more letter of the law. Oregon's more like reasonable value and being reasonable and things like that. And believe me, I know I bought half that floor that they got up there at one of the big attorneys' firms downtown. Matter of fact, they got my father-in-law's working there. He's a famous sculptor, James Lee Hansen. Look him up. And he invented the Lost Wax presses. Now I'm really getting out there. But I've been around a lot of really smart, talented people, a lot of guys that made fortunes. And here's one of the things I'll tell you about claims. Don't do them. Here, my first advice is I'll show you how to not do them and either settle them right now or how to settle them down the road for more money if that's what you want to do. So protecting the owner. You try to keep them out of claims. You try to keep them out of problems that way. And I was really good at that, because what happens is you don't ever want to be in a situation where you're not making schedule, you're tying them up, you're holding them up. It happens all the time, but it didn't happen with me. I always wanted it the other way. So unfortunately, you're always setting traps for the giant above you, because you don't want to be caught that way. You want to be right, and being right doesn't pay a thing. That's the one thing you're going to learn, or sooner or later you will. You want to make the money, or do you want to be right? Take your pick. Well, pretty easy to figure. But when schedules get involved, and you're meeting these schedules, and then the owner wants to do something ridiculous, well then that's when you have to go, hey, wait, whoa, here's the price to do something ridiculous. This isn't reasonable. And mark my words, I'm right on that. I learned from Brown and Root, Santa Fe Engineering, all these guys. We were doing like 20 blocks of light rail way back when, They wanted me to take a 90-day contract, turn it into a 30-day contract. Well, they taught me. These guys taught me and said, "Oh, Steve, well, that's going to cost like 3 times what your price is to move it up that much." And they were right, and they paid me that. So you learn about these decreased production. These are all in textbooks and things like that for you. But I wanted to let you guys that are reluctant to push the button, didn't think that I knew about the things I know about. I'll put it this way: I never got sued for construction breach or delay in all the years I was at it, and that's been a long time. Here's what you guys need to do. You number one, you gotta develop a small level of trust out there, so that the people, all the way down to the inspectors, understand what you're doing. You gotta have a little integrity. You gotta stick up and do these things right. I need to help you with your pay estimates. I need to help you with your claims. I need to help you with if it's worth a claim, and I need to show you how to prove what the project's worth. You work from the back to the front when you're doing your billing. It's the only way you can do it, because they're going to come to you and tell you, "Well, I have to keep enough money to finish the job." Correct. They do have to keep enough money. Let's say you got $600,000 left in contract that you haven't done yet, and you haven't billed for it yet, but they don't want to pay you your $400,000 bill. They're going to tell you. They're going to tell you what they owe you, as opposed to you telling them what they owe you. Somewhere in there is reality, and I'll know that without you giving me any numbers. I'll just be able to glance at it and look. I've dealt with bank examiners, everybody you can imagine has been on jobs, and some big ones. So you can just go the other way. Said, okay, well here's the deal. Here's my CPA. Here's our costs. Here's our bid. I've got $200,000 worth of cost to finish that $600,000 worth of work, and that's already marked up. So let's go real crazy and say it's $300,000. Well, what are you doing with the other? Who's got the $300,000 you owe me? Right? You got $300,000 that somebody's sitting on somewhere, because I got $300,000 worth of work to do with $100,000 of profit in it, net, and you're holding $600,000. You see where I'm going with this? This is all pretty easy stuff. Make them prove it. All right? You don't have to be mean to them. Just show them. No. You just said you wanted to ensure you had enough to complete, right? Okay, well, how about if I give you 100% more than you need to complete? Will you give me the rest of the money? They're going to say yes. That's when you're going to start getting paid.